Hi, I'm back with another video, and I'm still on vacation, so until I'm on vacation I'll be making videos in this format. But did you know that there is actually an optimal strategy to rerolling, so you can actually get way more 3 stars than you would normally get? And I feel like this is something that will very much help everyone that got the game late, because I played quite a few games already. And it's really useful actually. I think without using this some kind of strategy like this, you won't be winning that many games. So that's what I wanna explain to you today. What I figure out is the actual optimal way to rerolling and getting multiple 3-star units on the field each game, so you can actually beat your opponent. And that strategy consists of 3 elements or 2. I don't even know. I'll go through it. You'll see. And first thing you need to know about rerolling is that rerolling is mostly taking a troop that you don't actually need and then selling it to get another set of 3 cards to hopefully get a unit that you actually can use for your lineup. And the problem with this is that when you sell the unit, you're down 1 elixir, and that means that the more time you reroll like that, the more elixir you lose. Of course, rerolling, some say it's a little bit easier with Empress, because she gives you 2 extra, a bonus elixir for every time you upgrade a unit. But at the same time, King also gives you extra elixir, so no matter how you actually play, you're losing on elixir if you actually sell units at base value to get a reroll. So what you want to do, first thing that you should never do is to sell a 1-star unit, because if you upgrade a unit to at least 2 stars, or even 3 stars, 3 stars is even better, but when you're gonna upgrade to 3 stars, you're mostly gonna use that unit till the end of the game. But when you upgrade a unit to 2 stars, you get an extra elixir for merging that unit. That means that when you sell for 1 elixir less, you're actually getting back all of the elixir. So that's the first step. And the second step is to actually save up your units on the bench. You can mostly, what I would recommend is to save up the units that you actually have in your lineup, because from what I've seen, I don't know how exactly it works, but mostly when you want a 3-star unit, you need all 4 of those troops. Because what I've noticed is that when I go from 2 to 3-star units, I really have a unit on the bench and I take another one from the shop, and that's when all the units from the shop, the units from the bench, and the 2-star unit on the board merge together into a 3-star unit. So I think you need all 4 of them. Not exactly sure how that works, but that's what I noticed. So you want to save those units on the bench. So 2 steps now: save up the units you want to upgrade to 3 stars, and have the always at least get 2 stars on a troop before you sell it. The bench is really important here, because when I started playing, I wasn't even using the bench. At some point, like when I did the yesterday's video, I even wanted to bring up a point of why the bench is even there, since it's useless. But now that I'm kind of figuring this out, I've noticed that it's actually probably the most important thing you have in the game. The bench will allow you also to stack up your units that are 1 star, so you can upgrade them to 2 stars. And you will always have some units that you won't actually have in your lineup, like the ones you saved for a 3-star. So you'll have some spaces on the bench for the units that you don't actually need. And what you want to do with those, check up on other 3 players in the game, see what units they play, and the ones that no one plays, put them on your bench, because that means that there are still 4 of those troops in the card pool, meaning that it's way easier for you to get a 2-star on that troop than on other troops. So you will get easier 2 stars, so you can recycle that unit for another reroll. That's the third part of the strategy. And then there is the last thing. The last thing you want to focus on is getting goblins, at least 2 of the goblins, at the start of the match. You don't need to upgrade them. You don't need 4 of them. You only need 2 of them, and they need to be 1 star, and you will sell them later in the game. Of course, there is a goblin strategy that pretty much everyone uses right now, and like you should go for that if you want. But even if you're not going for the goblin strategy, have 2 of those goblins on the board, because every round they're gonna give you an extra elixir when you're gonna sell that one of the goblins that you get. And then later on in the game, you can sell them and place the actual units that you need to for the synergies and to upgrade them. And once you have that, now we've practically optimized the way we upgrade our units. So sell a 2-star unit, save up units for 3 stars on your bench, save up units that you can easily get to 2 stars for reroll on the bench as well, and play at least 2 goblins for an extra elixir. Now we're actually saving so much elixir, or at least we're not wasting it, even though we're rerolling a lot, that we can actually go through many rotations, many cycles of the shop, and there are way better chances for you to actually get the units that you need. Now the problem is that you always have to check on the units that you want to actually get to 3 stars from other players, because it can happen that that other players are playing the same units you want to play. And the important thing to know here is that there is only 4 of each troop in the card pool for all 4 of the players. So if someone takes 2 of them already, you can get a 3-star because you can get a maximum of 2. So it's important to adapt strategy through time with that. And then if you actually do all the stuff that I mentioned and you have a strategy with units that not everyone uses, so you can actually get them 3 stars, you will almost guarantee have a 3-star units that you need on the board. But the game is still RNG, so it can still, it's not a guarantee. It can still happen that you don't get the troops that you need, and it sucks. And sadly, it happens to me all the time still. While this is an optimal way to reroll, you have to know that rerolling at these amounts, when you're gonna be just like recycling units at 2-star to sell them back in the shop and bring them back on the board, what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen is that you will be running out of time a lot of times, and you have to be careful, because if you start cycling too much at a round that you're actually down by a lot, you might just lose that round. So keep that in mind on top of what I mentioned with four cards in the pool. Those are 2 very important things when building up a strategy with rerolling. And that, I think, is pretty much it on what you actually want to do. Of course, then there are optimal strategies that you can play, like I mentioned, the Goblin strategy, which pretty much everyone is playing right now, but I think that's a topic for another video. I was talking about something else before, but I kind of forgot. Something about cycling as well. Oh yeah, right, about the fact that sometimes it's not gonna work. I had games where I went through like 7 or 8 rolls and I still didn't get anything I need for my lineup, and that I hope gets fixed in the future. I still think the best way to fix this is to just like slightly increase the chances of getting the units that you have on the board again in the shop, or units that synergize with those, so you can actually build synergies. But yeah, it's not a guarantee, but it is the optimal way. And I have played games where I got like 4 or 5 out of 6 units to 3-star, and especially with like ranger strategy, for example, it's quite broken. So I hope this helps you in any possible way when you're playing the game. It's quite a quite a few stuff to keep in mind, but I think you get used to it. Of course, with time, it's kind of gonna be automatic. Like I'm already cycling the units way faster than when I started out, because like one of my major complaints was that the rounds last way too long, which I still think, but not throughout the entire game, but especially with the last rounds, because in the last round you're actually building up the elixir to cycle a lot of units, because you're trying to really get those 3 stars. In the first or second round it's not that big of a problem, but in the last rounds I think the time should still be increased a little bit more. But those are like minor fixes to the game. The game mode at the end of the day has way less problematic issues that I at first thought, but at the end of the day, we had Q&A today. They answered some questions. They will be working on the game mode. It will improve through time, and most importantly, it's fun to play even in the state that it is now. And I'm excited that we got something to that. So I'm just gonna let you roll this game till the end. It's like I think a minute and a half left, but this is pretty much it from my side for today. See you in the next one.